What's up, guys? So last week I was able to fund somebody $100,000. The good thing about it is the person had bad credit. Most people feel like if your credit is bad, it's the end all be all. That's only the case if you don't understand funding and you don't understand the different types of ways that you can get access to funding. I usually fund people at 0% interest for 12 months through regular institutions like Chase, US Bank, Citizens Bank, different institutions like that. But we're not going to be talking about the traditional funding route that I usually go through with my clients today. Today, we're actually going to talk about revenue-based funding, right? Funding businesses based off of revenue. And that's what we did for my guy, Alex. My guy, Alex, has a photography business, constantly getting booked for photo shoots, constantly getting booked for video shoots. You know, he has a huge editing team. So he's making some good revenue every single month. And because of that proof of income, we're still able to fund him through lenders. Now, the big difference is with 0% interest funding, obviously there's no interest for that first year. When you're funding through lenders, the lender directly is going to fund your company, direct deposit in your account within 72 hours. They're going to need proof of income, proof of documents in order to do so. But the good thing is the money gets deposited within 72 hours. It's not going to be through a card. It's going to be directly into your bank account. And then on top of that, like I said, it's coming through a lender. So they're going to make their money off of interest. So you're going to be paying a good amount of interest. You're going to have to make weekly payments. They're going to be a lot bigger, but you don't have to worry about, getting access to a card and having to liquidate that card. Money is directly deposited into your bank account. You're able to use those funds as you want to in order to grow your business. So my guy, Alex, had a conversation with him, right? He was making $85,000 a month through his business every single month. So when it comes to revenue-based funding, you have to show proof of income within your last 4 business bank statements. And the income has to be over $10,000 a month consecutively for those last 4 months. A lot of people will reach out. They'll have one month, making 20,000. They'll have another month making 5,000. The other month making 9,000. The month after that, 40,000. That's not going to work, right? That right there is a red flag to lenders. They like to see consistent income. Nothing can be under $10,000 a month. So when I say the minimum has to be 10,000, that has to be the minimum. Alex had months where he was making 85,000, 90,000, 78,000, 87,000. And with that, we were able to bring him this $100,000 offer that he's going to use to get better equipment. He's going to use to hire new people on his team that are going to make him more money, right? So like I said, MCA loans, revenue-based funding is always an option that people don't know about. And the only thing you need for this is 4 bank statements showing over $10,000 a month. That's the minimum, right? So obviously you're not going to get access to $200,000 in funding making $10,000 a month. You have to show proof that you can actually pay back what you're going to borrow. Alex is making $90,000 a month, $87,000 a month. That's why we were able to get him $100,000, because his business is already making something similar to that. So we know he'll be able to pay us off within the next 7 months. So the more you make, the bigger your offer is. You have to also make sure that the beginning and ending balances in none of those statements are negative, right? There's times where you'll see people transferring a lot of money from one account to another. That right there is another red flag, and it's going to be another reason why lenders don't want to give you access to money through merchant cash advances. You have to make sure that the beginning balance has money in there. I would say nothing under 500. The ending balance has to have at least $1,000 every single month. Can't have any negatives. Sometimes there's like little overdrafts of 10 cents, $1. That right there will get you denied when it comes to funding. But the overall picture is most people feel they need to have good credit in order to get funding. Alex had a 525 credit score. He had collections on his credit report, late payments, charge-offs, even had a repossession. But the good thing about it was revenue, right? So he doesn't qualify for 0% interest funding, and he won't for probably like the next few years unless he decides to go through the credit repair route. But when we X that out and we understand that their credit is bad, the next thing that we look at in order to fund a client is going to be revenue. There's probably a lot of people watching this right now that your business is already making over $10,000 a month, and you have the proof of income to show. You have the bank statements, right? You have the tax returns, you have the proof, but you're lacking the credit score. That's not, like I said, that's not the end all be all if you understand funding options. There's SBA loans, right? There's going to be business lines of credit. There's going to be merchant cash advances. There's going to be business credit cards. There's a lot of different ways you can go. But if your credit is bad, the MCA route is going to be a route that you want to, one, do research into. And if your business is already making the income, that's the route you want to go by, especially if your business just needs an extra $50,000 to really just multiply the amount of money that you're making on a monthly basis, like Alex, right? So it's not the end all be all if you have bad credit. As long as you understand different funding options, you too can also get access to funding, even though you're going to be making weekly payments. As long as your business is making the revenue, you shouldn't have a problem, right? So 525 credit score, still was able to get access to $100,000 in funding. If you're watching this, right, you have bad credit, but your business is already making some money, make sure you reach out to us. Or, if you found some value, like, comment, and subscribe. Looking to put out as much content as possible. Let's get you funded, guys. You have business busy rule checking out. Peace.